Alright, what's up guys? Just doing a quick video. Got some new knives in today. The ones I told you were coming on my last video about the injection. I got the Cryo 2 today and the Thermite. Both from Cabelas.com. Only place they're in stock right now, both of them. Kind of a exclusivity for Cabelas, I believe, on these two models. They came in clamshell packing and everything. That's why there's no unboxing. So you know, they're going to be selling these in stores. Now, I was just at Cabelas. Man, not even, I think it was last weekend actually, and they didn't have these, but I did go on their website and find them for order, so I just ordered them and they just came today. So just a quick overview of these two knives. Really digging the Cryo 2. It is much bigger than the original Cryo. I don't have one to compare it to. Geez, I don't have a knife that size to compare it to, but much bigger. I mean, fits the hand perfect. Like that. Medium-sized hands, perfect fit. Cryo 2 was too small. This is what the Cryo should have been in the first place, in my opinion. Should have been this knife. A lot of people complained, oh, they love the Cryo 2. Oh, you know, it's a Hinder design. It's got this nice titanium gray color. It's a good-looking knife. You know, it's got the lock bar stabilizer, Hinder design, it's speed safe. Which I'm not a huge fan. I don't mind it. I'd rather have a manual knife. Obviously with the bearing system, but at this price point, you're not going to get bearings, but they could at least do washers and make it manual. And there's no option to make these de-assisted, just so you know. I mean, you could if you, but there is no hole for the detent ball on the blade, so you'd have to drill a detent, like a dent to the blade or whatever, and I'm not about to do that. Some guys have done that. They've modded some knives like that, so that is an option, but it's not as just, some knives, like the Blur 350, you can just take the torsion bar right out of them and they just, boom, nice flippers. I mean, obviously the Blur's on a flipper, but it works great without it's really smooth without the torsion bar. So this one will not work without the torsion bar. I took it apart, tried it. I already knew it, but I just tried it anyway. And definitely won't work, but it's still a great little knife. I mean, for 30, what did I pay? I think I paid $39. Cabela's prices are a little bit higher, but they're the only ones that have them right now, so I was willing to pay it. But this is the perfect size. I mean, that's about the same size as the 801. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit shorter in hand than the 801, but not much. Now, the Thermite is longer by quite a bit in the handle. The blade is a little bit longer, not much. There we go. The blade is a little bit longer, but not much. It's quite a bit longer in the handle. So this one is good, would be really good for guys with larger hands. I mean, I find it perfectly comfortable in my hand, but you'll see that, you know, part of the knife, this much of the knife is hanging off down here. And I actually like the way the Cryo feels better in hand. It's also got a wider profile. The scales are wider versus the Thermite. The Thermite has skinnier. And when I'm saying wide, I don't mean like width. They're about exactly the same when you put them up like this, but I'm talking about this distance from here to here, here to here. That's thinner, that's a little bit wider. I prefer the wideness of the Cryo 2. One thing I love about the Thermite though is the span-tail blade. It's awesome. I mean, here, talk about your poor man's hinderer. You have the span-toe, G10, frame lock, and the stabilizer. It's a poor man's hinderer. I mean, they both are, but this one more so because the span-toe's until now only been available in a hinderer XM18 or 24. So this is more of your poor man's hinderer. They both really are because they're both hinderer designs. But again, you get the span-tail blade on this, so this is worth owning, in my opinion, just for that. I really like that blade shape. You know, that's kind of Rick Hinderer's deal. This one feels good in the hand. Like I said, it's a little bit longer, but it's still got a good feel to it. You know, it's obviously a stainless steel frame lock, not titanium. But heck, I mean, this one was actually cheaper than the Cryo 2, which kind of surprised me. It was more around the $39 range or $35 or something like that. And it's got a G10 on this scale here. It's got the gear pattern backspacer, which is pretty cool, but I think it runs too far. I mean, they could have stopped right here, and that would have been awesome, because then you'd have a flow-through design more. I mean, you have a little bit of a gear. I mean, you could even stop it here or here, but pulling it up all the way up here, That doesn't make much sense to me. So I can see people. This, I think, knife is screaming to be pimped. The Cryo, I'm sure Gator scales, they were kind of like the first to make the scales for the Cryo. I believe his name's Don. Excuse me if I'm wrong there. He's a great guy. He makes the Cryo scales, and they have to be milled out because they have to accept the torsion bar. I had a Cryo carbon fiber scale, my original Cryo, and it was really nice. So hopefully he's going to get these and make those, because I could see this being really nice with like on a different scale, maybe a carbon fiber or a G10 or something. And it also would lighten the knife up a lot. They're kind of, oh gosh. I'm sorry guys, I always end up bumping the camera, don't I? And YouTube's going to be like, we detected your video is shaky. This isn't a review or anything, this is just an overview. So let's zoom out a little bit. We've got kind of a crowded table right now because I've got the injection and the shuffle on there too. Alright. Let's see what these guys weigh. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm not looking at the internet or anything. So the Thermite weighs 4.9 ounces, which isn't bad because you have a 3.5-inch blade and you have a stainless frame lock. I mean, that's actually lighter than the 801, I believe. And 5.7 on the Cryo. The reason why is because you have two solid stainless steel scales versus the one on this one, and these have like a thin stainless liner, as you can see there, and they have the G10. So this one's going to be lighter. Some people might like that because the Thermite is lighter. I like the Cryo too, though, man. I think it feels solid. I mean, it feels like a solid knife. I mean, it's pretty close in weight to the 801. Let's see. 801 is 5.9. Yep, they're about the same. Obviously, the 801 is solid titanium, so it feels even more solid. But really, of the two knives, I would say, and I'm actually really surprised that I feel this way because I thought I would really like the Cryo 2, or the Thermite more than the Cryo 2, but I'm actually leaning towards this. One thing that would be awesome, I think, is to have the Spanto blade shape with the Cryo scales, and I think you'd have a real winner there. And I actually tried to swap them, and they do not fit, just so you know. So, no gripes on these knives. I've been carrying them both today since I opened them, just for fun, just because I was out and about running errands and doing stuff with the fam, and I wanted to say, why not carry both of them? So you'll notice that they're tip down only, which they're not tip down only, but mine are, because both of these knives came with a ridiculous amount of Loctite on these screws. I mean, I was able to disassemble the knives, the pivot, the body, the scales. No big deal. Came right off. Both knives on the pocket clip. You are not getting those stinking screws off. I mean, I've actually, you can see, I stripped this one. And I've got one of those good WIHA or whatever, W-I-H-A Torx bits. You know, the ones that Kershaw actually recommends you use. Yeah, stripped. These ones, I can't budge them, and I'm not going to try, so I don't strip them. I tried heating them up with a lighter just to try to break the bond of the what do you call it, Loctite. That didn't work. I don't think the lighter gets hot enough. That's why I think you need more like a soldering iron or something that's going to get really hot. I know that Rival 1314, he has a Thermite, and that's what he had to do because he stripped his WIHA Torx bit also. So huge gripe. Why are they putting so much stinking Loctite on their pocket clip screws? It's only the pocket clip screws. It's not the pivot screws. It's not the body screws. It's the pocket clip. It's like, we don't want you to move this clip to tip up, even though we give you the option. If you're a lefty, good luck, because you're going to strip your stinking screws. So that I'm just kind of ticked about, actually, because both these knives I love, and I wanted to carry them and use them, but they're both tip down, and I'm not a tip down fan. Luckily, I will be in Oregon in a couple weeks, and I'm going to the Kershaw factory, and I'm going to take these in and say, fix these, please, because you guys need to stop putting so much stinking Loctite. Same thing on the new 801. Oop. It came tip up, which is great, so I don't really have a reason to change it, but for some strange reason I thought that this shuffle clip, which I like the color better, might actually fit. They have the same spacing. It's the same kind of deep carry design. They have the same spacing in between the screws. So I thought, I'll try it. Well, this one came off no problem on the shuffle. Yeah, this one, yep, stripped that one too. And guys, I'm not using a piece of crap Torx bit here. I'm using a nicer Torx bit. I mean, I bought them specifically because people have said that if you don't use the nice ones, you can strip your knife screws. So I bought them, and sure enough. This one's not a big deal because it's tip up only right now anyway, so it's not a huge deal, but I'm going to take this one in and get that one replaced too, because I do want to, I'm going to drop this off at Alex Dietz' house when I'm up in Oregon and have him do some anodizing on it and stuff, and maybe, you know, take the black off the hardware and polish the hardware, make it look better. But love the 801. I need to do a review on the 801 still. So this is not a review on the 801, but what I wanted to highlight is the two new knives I got, the Cryo 2, the Thermite. Most likely going to be one of the first videos on YouTube with any footage of these two knives, so wanted to throw it up there pretty quickly. These aren't reviews, just overviews. And then the pocket clip screw thing is not a negative at all against the knife. It's more against Kershaw and ridiculous amounts of loc-tite. I don't even know why they would need loc-tite on a pocket clip screw. It's not going to come loose. If you tighten it, you know, hand tight, they're not coming off. I've never had it happen with how many 100 knives I've had or whatever. It just drives me bonkers. So I'm stuck with tip down on both of these knives, and that does not make me happy. Now, if you're a tip down lover, hey, no worries for you, because you're good to go. But I will give huge praise to Kershaw. The pocket clip screw thing drives me nuts. It's a rant. I'm over it. I'm going to take it up there. They'll fix it. Great warranty. Great company. Not terribly worried about it. Just going to have to deal with tip down for a while. Both of these are steals at the price. And not even just these. The Thermite, the Cryo 2, the injection. You saw my review on the injection. And we'll throw the shuffle in there. Hell, even the 801, obviously the most expensive knife, it's a ZT. Under 200 bucks for this knife is stupid. It's like buttery smooth, one of the smoothest actions I've ever had on a production knife. Full titanium scales, bearing system, replaceable steel locks. I mean, again, need to do a review on that knife. Watch for that soon. But these ones, if you're looking at value knives, this little guy's 15 bucks. It's sweet. I've been loving carrying this. It's actually super comfortable with that forward choil. You can get a nice grip on it for how small it is if you use that choil. You know, it almost gives me the same amount of grip as the Cryo too. Obviously a teeny little blade, but it's just a fun. It's a great little secondary EDC. I haven't even used the screwdriver yet or the bottle opener, but just a cool knife for 15 bucks. You can't go wrong there. You saw my review of my injection. I'm not going to spend time on that. These two, I think, are going to be winners. Now, my only gripe is, besides the pocket clip screws, is the fact that they're not. There's no detent hole in the blade for the detent ball, so you're relying on speed safe only on these guys. Now, unless you want to modify them and drill it, you know, and do that, if you've got the skills to do that, go right ahead. I'm assuming that would void your warranty with Kershaw, though. So you're stuck with speed safe. If you like speed safe, hey. Perfect knives for you. 40 bucks a piece around-ish, especially for this one. Well, actually, I mean, like I said, I prefer the Cryo 2, actually. For both knives, just great value. I mean, I'm going to carry and use the heck out of both of these. They're inexpensive. 8 CR13 MOV steel on all these 4 knives right here. Actually, I take that back. The shuffle is not 8 CR13. It is 3 CR13. Which I'm guessing is a lower end than 8 even, but for this little teeny knife, no big deal. But for these guys, all around that steel, they came, well, let's see how sharp they are. They came dang sharp, and this video is running longer than I wanted. Oh, here's a Blade HQ receipt. Oh, that's for my ProTech. Let's tear this baby up. Ooh, that wasn't that impressive. There we go. This is me failing at cut tests on these knives. Yeah, you can see how sharp they are. Spanto. Oh yeah, way sharp. Let's see how sharp that tip is. Yeah, look how sharp that tip was on the Spanto. Yeah, that's nice. So, Kershaw's knives always come razor sharp though. There's no questions there. So they come nice and sharp. The 8CR13 will take a great edge, and it's easy to resharpen. It's not going to take you, if you only have like a sharp maker like me, or you know, something like that, then you're not going to have to spend a ton of time sharpening them like you would the LMAX. But if you have a wicked edge or whatever, you know, no big deal on the steel, because your knife, that thing can handle anything. But if you're an everyday Joe that wants to spend, you know, less than 50 bucks on a knife for an EDC knife, man, you can't go wrong. Two hinder designs here: the Cryo 2 and the Thermite. Now, another one coming out, the Dimension, which I've heard is actually starting to ship. Now, I heard that on the Blade Forums, Kershaw subforum. I am a member of the Order of Kai. That's why you do see a lot of ZT and Kershaw knives on my channel. And so I'm a big Kershaw fan. And even though right now their pocket clip thing is driving me nuts, but I'm still a big fan of their company. Totally forgot where I was going with that, so we'll leave it alone. But oh, the Dimension, full titanium handles on that, and it's a button lock, and I believe it's a flipper. I'm 99% sure yeah, it is a flipper. It's a button lock, full titanium handles, 8CR13 MOV, made in China. Gonna be under 50 bucks for titanium handles. What? I mean, I don't care if it's made in China. That's insane. It's a smaller knife. It's gonna be more probably. It's only a 3-inch blade. It may be smaller than the Cryo too. But I'm definitely checking that one out, because I wasn't going to, but full tie handles, why not? Button lock, that's kind of cool. Kershaw's never done button lock before, so that's kind of nice. They usually do frame locks or liner locks on majority of their knives, or subframe locks, but you know, I'm going to check that one out too, so look forward to that. So Kershaw is killing it. I'm sorry, but Spyderco, we're way behind this year. I don't know of anything that you've even put out this year that's new, that is not a new design. These are all new designs. Well, the Cryo 2 is technically just a larger version of the Cryo, but it was an award-winning design last year. The Thermite, the Injection, you got collaborations with Hinderer, Todd Rexford, RJ Martin, the Scrambler, another one on their budget line that's coming out soon. It looks like a Q36. I believe that's what it's called. I'll have to double check on that one. Looks very similar. It's got stainless steel bolsters and G10 on there. It's also a frame lock. It's also a flipper. It's going to be speed safe. Hopefully they drill the detent hole in that one. I'm not going to cross my fingers, or not going to hold my breath on that one. But I do know that there's two more budget Kershaws that are coming out, and that are going to be really good knives. You know, you got the 770 carbon fiber coming out with the shoot, what's it called? Oh man, that's also speed safe, but the rumor is on that one that it is going to have a detent hole. So hopefully on the ZT lines at least they do that. They give us the option to go manual, but a lot of people like the speed safe. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan. I like to, I mean, it flips nice. I love how fast it fires, but it's the whole closing. It's like just not smooth. You have to like fight that torsion bar, and I don't like that, you know. But you know, it's like, I mean, look at it like having an automatic. An automatic's the same way. When you close it, you have to fight that spring. So I have that ProTech, and I've been kind of digging autos lately. So this is kind of like, you know, the closest thing you're going to get to an auto without actually being an auto. It probably fires just as fast as an auto. So that comes in handy. I mean, if you're, you know, having to use your other hand, it's easy to deploy the blade. You know, if you're left or righty, you have to use your left hand. You know, it's super simple in a defensive situation. If you had to use this knife, you know, you can pretty much use any finger, any way, and it flies open. So there's some definite advantages to that. So anyway, guys, sorry for the rambling here. This is almost a 20-minute video. Wow. Might need to cut some of this off. We'll see. I don't usually edit my videos too much, but might have to. So check out Kershaw, man. They're kicking butt this year. With their budget line. ZT's kicking butt with their offerings. The 801 is pretty much the best value in a knife right now, in my opinion. So can't go wrong. They're killing it. So fix Kershaw. You're listening. Huge fan. Enough of the Loctite on the pocket clip screws. Come on. We're sick of stripping out our screws, and I know I'm not the only one doing it. So anyway, all right, guys, have a good Saturday. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's a little bit longer than normal. I apologize for that, but got some good knife porn to look at, and just for fun, at the very end, we're just gonna throw this in there. Ooh. Bam. Laconico. Alright. Have a good one, guys. Take care.